Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and notifications button for all the good stuff we've got coming.
Hi, my name is Joseph Zettelmaier, and I wrote Channel Cat. Happened in winter, right? November and December of 2019.
Yes.
Nope, this was my first one at the Rep, and boy, it was a delight. Unfortunately, I was directing another show at the same time, so I wasn't there as much as I wanted until the show opened. But I got to see it 3 times at the Rep, and I just, yeah, it was a delight. I'd submitted a couple before. Honestly, what it was, Channel Cat was a script I was really proud of, and I've had so many friends who've worked at the Rep, and it literally came out of them having, talking with me about how much fun they had at the Rep, and I was like, I want to have fun at the Rep too. Uh, so that's really what it was. Is I sent Channel Cat kind of with my fingers crossed, and yeah, you guys got back to me in like a flash. And one of the things when I was there was this little tiny family owned barbecue joint that some friends of mine took me to a couple times. And it was the best barbecue I've ever had in my life. I mean, nothing else has even come close, right? Like family recipes that have been passed down for over 100 years. Um, but also, it was just an incredibly cool plate. Like I'd never seen anything kind of like it, and it felt like it wasn't a part of this time. It felt like it was like a hodgepodge of like 8 different eras that weren't this era, and it always stuck with me. That place, that joint, they call it a joint. That joint stuck with me. At some point, I always like trying to write different kind of things than I've done. I mean, there are some times where I'll revisit themes or ideas, but I'd never done a Southern Gothic, and I was really intrigued by the idea of writing a Southern Gothic. And as soon as I thought about that, the barbecue joint just popped right back in my head. The character of Otis sort of walked into this play already written, or at least, I'd experienced enough times with that character that his voice stayed with me for life. He seemed like he came out of a folk story. It was this incredible cook. I mean, like I said, I've never had better barbecue, and just everyone who walked in, you were immediately best friends with this guy. He the kind of guy, like, he remembered your name from meeting you once. Despite the fact that the place was plenty busy. I mean, he definitely had customers, but he always remembered people. Um, he was just as friendly a guy as you could ever meet. But yeah, I mean, there were topics he'd absolutely go off on. Oh my God, like local politics. He would just he would just go off. It was awesome. But at the same time, I mean, he'd cook things to order. He'd make fun of you if you ordered things differently than they were on the menu, but he'd still do it. Um, and I don't think I ever saw a day that in the times I went there that he wasn't there behind the counter cooking. I mean, he was. Ada is actually, believe it or not, is based on a cousin of mine, Rosie. Um, she just will not suffer fools, be it random strangers or her closest family. She just speaks her mind exactly what she thinks, and I just admire her so much for that. And then there's Clay the sheriff. He has this sense, right? Like a lot of these, the Deep South sheriffs, or like, I mean, this is his town. He has lived there forever. And that was, I mean, in many ways, he and Otis both embody one of the things I really noticed about my time in the South. Um, History is still present there in a way that it isn't here. So many people there, like they can trace their lineages back not just to people but to places and events. It's just so much more present to them. And that's not to say that they're all rearing up for the Civil War again. It's just that it's something that's just, it's always talked about. It's always, their history is something they're always aware of. And I think Clay and Otis both sort of came from that particular mindset. I mean, a few things. The play ends on a very ambiguous note, which was super intentional. Every once in a while, you just don't want to tie things up plot-wise. You want to tie them up emotionally. And one thing that I definitely got was just a barrage of people deciding how the play ended. Right? What happened after the final moment of the play. And so many people had so many thoughts about it, and that was exactly what I wanted to happen. One thing I'd heard about the Detroit Rep audience, and boy, it was the truth. Um, they let you know. You're so aware of what they're responding to. Like there's no guesswork needed. You know exactly what they're responding to and how they're responding to it. And I mean, as a writer, you just can't ask for better than that. I mean, there's no guesswork. You know exactly what they're thinking and what they're feeling, and it's just wonderful experience. You know what? Why not? I'll tell you exactly what I think happened at the end of the play. It'll go on record. This is exactly what Joseph Zettelmaier thought happened at the end of his play. Clay.
Really?
Channel Cat experience that I just want to share because it was just the best and like only could happen at the Rep. And I know I wasn't the only one who experienced this. I got to meet Rashida Tlaib. I mean, my God, that's amazing. I couldn't believe it. I was totally starstruck. She was so cool. Oh my God, she's so cool. And this is the thing, everyone asked me afterwards, they're like, what's she like? What's she like? And I always feel like I should tell people this. Rashida Tlaib is way funnier than people realize.
Yeah.
Way funnier. She has such a biting, hilarious sense of humor. Just like I had tears rolling down my eyes at one point. She is so funny. Which, I mean,
hasn't allowed her to be as lighthearted as she is. Everyone has taken on a bit of a more cynical and grounded sense to their personality. Everybody's had to. It's been grave. So are you going to write a show about the storming of the Capitol?
No. If I do, it will not be direct.
It should be a comedy. It should be a farce. It should be a farce.
Right. It will in some way, shape, or form reflect it. It was the same way years ago someone asked me if I was going to write a 9/11 play, and I'm like, I did. You just didn't recognize it as a 9/11 play.
Yeah.